Congratulations on your new piercing. Now it's really important for us to talk about aftercare instructions and how to properly heal your fresh piercing. Before you do your piercing aftercare, make sure you wash your hands and your hands are clean. Initially, piercings do swell up, so swelling, a little bit of bruising or bleeding, it all can be normal. Just to make sure everything is okay, check in with your piercer. The most important thing when healing a piercing is not touching it and not playing with your jewelry. The reason why we do not want to touch or twist the jewelry is because the more movement the jewelry has, the more irritated the piercing becomes, which means it's going to take longer to heal. Also, touching your piercing is going to introduce bacteria that we carry on our hands. Also, it is super important not to apply pressure while you're sleeping, so make sure to sleep on your other side or the back so the piercing doesn't get irritated. All the pressure that we apply from sleeping on the piercing is going to make the piercing heal at an angle. We don't recommend using harsh chemicals like rubbing alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, or anything like that on your fresh piercing, as it is a long-term wound and it needs very gentle aftercare. We also don't recommend using any ointments or lotions on your piercing, as it's going to cut the air circulation, and healing a wound, it needs fresh air circulation. Ointments and oil, they will harbor bacteria, so we don't recommend using any of that. We would recommend using sterile saline solution once or twice a day, directly spraying it onto your piercing. We don't recommend using the sterile saline solution more than once or twice a day, as it has salt and actually can dry and irritate your piercing if you use it too much. Showering is a really great way to soften up the crusties that build on your fresh piercing. As it is an open wound, it's going to have lymphatic discharge and it's going to dry on the jewelry. The best way to soak it up is taking a nice long shower, letting the water run over the piercings, and then spraying it with the saline solution. Do not pick at the crusties, as it's only going to aggravate and irritate the piercing, so make sure you soften the crusties up with water in the shower and then spray with the saline solution. We don't recommend using Q-tips to clean your fresh piercing, as Q-tips, they move around the jewelry and irritate it a lot. It also leaves cotton fibers around the jewelry, which means it's going to harbor more bacteria and more crusties. Another one of my favorite tips I like to give our clients is to make sure you stay healthy. A healthy body is going to heal a piercing faster, so make sure you sleep well, eat well, stay hydrated, and take your vitamins. We also don't recommend submerging your fresh piercing underwater, like in the bathtub or jacuzzis or in the ocean, as you might have the risk of exposing your piercing to potentially infectious bacteria. Last but not least, make sure to follow your piercer's downsizing recommendations. When we pierce fresh piercings, we use longer than needed jewelry to allow for swelling. Once the swelling goes down, we need to get rid of that extra length so it doesn't move and snag on things. So make sure you come in for your downsizing. Congrats on your new piercing again. Have a happy healing.